Well, what a glorious day it is. It's Wednesday. Can you believe it, y'all? Last week, my wife and I were having the privilege of sharing together in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, this very night on our anniversary, 37th anniversary. And here it is, a week later, we're back. Hi. I mean, it's incredible. It's moving. I hope you're moving. Dr. J. Calvin Tibbs with you, your purpose development coach. And my job tonight is to help you recognize some things about why you were put on this planet. Please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Send this to some folks because we're already 2 weeks into 2021 with 2 weeks left before the second month is already here. You know it was just Christmas. You know it was just Christmas. So what we got to do in strength. So let's be about the business of it. So hello to everybody over here, Retha and Mizette and my darling wife and others whom I see are here but not chatting yet. But God bless you. And Father, help us tonight to connect the way we ought to, in a way that inspires us to take advantage of this expensive cost that was paid for us to live a life as King's kids. Help us now. In the name of Jesus, we praise you. Thank you, Lord. Amen. So again, please like, share, and subscribe. What I'm going to do tonight is talk to you along the lines of something that came up today in a training session that was so good I had to repurpose it to put it within the purpose training that's taking place tonight. So as an example, the idea of being a steward of your purpose is what we're going to talk about tonight. What does it look like to be a steward of your purpose? I use the word expensive because it cost a lot to redeem a lost soul from the destiny of hell. Cost a lot. I don't normally go here on purpose points, but I want to make sure you know how expensive you are. Salvation didn't cost you anything, but it cost the one who granted it everything, which means you, one, were worth dying for, and two, you're very expensive because you're in exclusive company. Because you're expensive, it just kind of stands to reason that you want to look after the purpose behind why you were purchased. The purpose behind why you were purchased. So to be a good steward is to really look after you. Look after your body, look after your mind, look after your emotions. Look after three big purpose questions. We went over those last night. Why are you here? What are you supposed to be doing? And how can you improve? You should be looking over that like daily, just like you eat every day. Your purpose, because you were purchased, precious blood spilled to make sure you could make it from here to eternity by believing and speaking the name that's above every name, Yeshua. But you're not there yet. We're not there yet. So there's some things we've got to be doing right now. There's some things we've got to do right now because you're expensive. You cost a lot. You're more than the $6 worth of dirt that people say you are, because they're not just burying the dirt. They're burying, when people pass, they're burying the physical shell of the individual. But the worst thing about what happens at most burials is that it was left in them and then went to the grave. And I love what Miles Monroe said. He said, you owe me what's inside of you. And he's right. You owe your family. We owe each other. You owe parts of the world because you were paid for. You've got to be a better steward. And I'm not saying you're not a good steward. I'm just saying I was challenged by the idea, so much so that I drafted an entire presentation today, or message, if you will, or conversation around this very thing, because y'all, what proves that we are giving a return on the investment of our purchase? You know, when you buy something, you expect it to work. It's how it works, right? Like we bought some blinds the other day to replace some blinds or some window coverings that we had. Put the blinds in, and guess what? They didn't work. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to take it back. Exactly. In fact, that's the third thing. Wow. So I bind the plans of the darkness to keep sending partially fulfilled items. It happened on 3 separate items, and I'm just connecting with it right now. So to that end, when it comes down to knowing what you are here for, one of the three big purpose questions, you can then know how to respond when things don't go right. Like, to have blinds that don't work is not a goal. So we're sending them back. And so it is with the other two items. We've already, worked those pieces out. But my point to you is, if you don't work, you can't send you back. But you can do something to up the level of what you provide as a quality product, an end product of someone who purchased you. And I'm not talking some weird thing. And I don't know where your religious persuasion may be, but I can tell you this: either God made you, or some other version you might think made you. Like some people think we evolved, which is not possible. It's never been proven, and it cannot be proven. Why? Because you don't cross transfer in terms of the species. It doesn't work. No person has ever become a dog. No dog has ever become a person, because we are different kinds. So to that end, since you are the human kind, you owe humans the benefit of your design, which answers the question, why are you here? Why are you here? Because you were designed to be here, and you have to watch over, be a good steward of your design. You got to look over your design. You're not designed for stress. We went over that last week. You're not designed for crazy. You're not designed to have, a disrupted life. You're not designed for that. You're not designed for the things that the darkness or the world wants to fashion you after. You weren't designed to be confused. You weren't designed to think yes is not yes. You weren't designed to think no is not no. You weren't designed to have falsehood as a normal part of your thinking. You're not designed for that. The second question that we answered last week is, what are you supposed to be doing? Well, as it relates to stewardship, looking after the invisible attributes that are inside of you. And you have them. You have thoughts, you have a memory, you have a mind, you have a will, you have emotions. Those are just a part of the invisible attributes, because when your imagination kicks into your emotions and you will let it be so, then your mind processes where your belief goes. And if your belief is moving in that direction, then the invisible attributes are really the strength and the source of why you do what you do. And if you are not doing a thorough enough job to look after you, I'm talking about the stewardship of your purpose, then my brother and my sister, tonight's the night to make the change. You have to look after that writing ability that's inside of you. You have to look at or steward the fact that you are a good steward at your job in the area where you live, work, or play. You have to look after that. You have to look after, perhaps, like most of us, the higher level of potential that has not been tapped yet. Why are we all right living down here? Why are we okay at 30% when 70% has not even been discovered or explored? Who are you worried about? Who said something some time ago that you are still rehearsing, which means you're not a good steward over your mind? Why are we not a good steward over what we think? Why do we accept every thought that comes in from anybody and everybody because it seems to be better than our thought? We got to be good stewards over our thinking. So here's some questions for you. When it comes down to the why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Your stewardship. And how can I improve, right? So when you look at that and you honestly say to yourself, you know what, I really can improve on the way I steward my purpose or look after my purpose. Because if I'm here for this and I'm always over here, if I'm here to produce and I'm always a consumer, if I'm designed to go and I'm always watching others go, I'm not being a good steward over why I'm here, what I'm supposed to be doing, and improvement. What improvement? There won't be any improvement if you're not doing something. Now, those three questions of, why, what, and how are design, direction, and development questions. So I'm going to drill a little deeper here in a second to ask you those questions about what you're doing with your purpose, meaning your stewardship. Because listen, it's a misnomer that looking for a purpose is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. We went over that last year, maybe the year before. I already told you I got that, I believe, as a phrase that came from the Spirit of the Lord that says that looking for a needle in the haystack is not how it is when it comes to purpose. Your purpose is the haystack because your purpose is all over the place. But I want you to consider, for example, when you talk about being a steward of your purpose, what is a steward? Well, by definition, a steward is a person that is employed to manage another's property. Ye are not your own. You have been brought with a price. I think that's why I decidedly moved in this direction. You don't belong to yourself. You really don't. I don't. Nobody on the planet belongs to themselves. You know why? Because we belong to the Creator. And when you give your heart to Him, now the lordship or the direction kicks in, which is, what are you supposed to be doing? He gives you that direction. He also helps you to know how to improve by using the brain He gave you to look at it without having to hear from anybody else before you do. You can take their advice, but right off the bat, you already know what to do. People know when they're wrong. You don't have to have anybody saying, you're wrong. People know that they're wrong, unless, why are they here? If the design was flawed from the vantage point of the training, where you don't know right from wrong, He still gives you nature to look up and see, ooh, something's bigger. My conscious, my mind is telling me I shouldn't act this way. I should act that way. Now, what we will do with that, once again, invisible attributes, tells us whether or not we are even interested in being a good steward over our purpose. Okay, so check this out. To maximize time and efforts, live the best that your purpose has to offer. I'm going to say that again. To maximize your time and efforts, live the best that your purpose has to offer. Now, the question is, how do you do that? Well, in one regard, I'm going to start with this. Stop cheating yourself of what you know to be inside because you are worried about likes, applause, and approval. Once again, stop cheating yourself of the benefit of who you really are, what you are really supposed to be doing, and constantly developing and improving. Stop cheating yourself because of likes and worry and what people think in the culture. Because at the end of the day, if you are not engaging in ongoing development, you are not being a good steward of your purpose. There is no way. There's no way. And then as the clock continues to tick, I don't know if you can hear it. You hear that? Seconds of life. Seconds. Can't get them back. Gone. I don't know if you were counting. Boy, I'm like a human metronome. What's up? You notice that? They're gone. Can't get them back. So what are you going to do in the next 60 of those seconds? Okay, I lost track. What are you going to do 50,000 seconds from now as a steward of your purpose? Waiting on somebody to tell you what you ought to do, when you already know what you are here for, why you're here, what you're supposed to do, and how you can improve? Or you're just going to get entertained when you should be getting entertained? See, slipping, skipping a beat. I missed a beat. A lot of folks miss beats for weeks. But they can tell you what happened on television, since according to one survey, folks like watching TV for 7 days in a row. That's just their thing. But what if I'm out of sync? So are people who don't let their purpose get stewarded by their intentionality. Now, that was very interesting, because you hear the time going by. Life will go by, and we are desiring to help you through purpose points to give your best while you are here. Because when you're there, wherever there may be for you, up or down, wherever there is for you, what you've done is done. So here's a question for you. How do you put the best of your purpose forward? How do you do it? And I see some answers here. I must stay focused. Absolutely. That's my first lady right there. I must stay focused. I see Minister Leah say, stand still in a real waste of time. Standing still is a real waste of time. It really is. Watching everybody else and having all kinds of opinions on what they could have done or should have done. Armchair quarterbacks, Monday morning quarterbacks, backseat drivers. They're all related. It's a mindset of always evaluating what others are doing because you're not out there doing it yourself. When you should be doing that, and the crowd should be watching you until they learn from you what they should do if you have a similar design. It's the way this thing is supposed to go. We got to work this out because, can you hear it? Gone. 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 I wonder how many people, I may need to get that stat, die and take with them the purpose they didn't release because they chose not to be a good steward over it. I wonder what humanity could have benefited by that has to wait until somebody else with a similar purpose will step forward and steward it rather than waiting on somebody else to come up with it, because it's just easier to evaluate others than just do it yourself. It's just easier. All right, so I'm going to answer that question for you. I'm going to ask another question to answer the question. Putting the best of your purpose forward. How do you know if you're doing that? Well, one way that you can know that you are or are not doing it is to ask yourself, where is the investment in you? Yeah, okay, I'll say it again. Where is the investment in you? In other words, how are you improving? Answering the third question, how can I get better? That's development. What's your development cost this year? How much did you spend on development last year? Oh, but you'll buy their products, but you won't buy anything to develop you. I'm not talking about a product in particular. I'm talking about investing in your stewardship value. Because if some people look after themselves long enough, they will cut their own lives short because of the bad habits that go against good stewardship. If left to ourselves in America, because we've been introduced to sweets and things of that nature, Americans would just eat and eat and eat sweets or whatever thing it is that the marketers are visually telling us we ought to want. But if we answer that question, how can we improve? One thing we can improve on is our listening habits, in that we must not position ourselves within the ear gate and the eye gate of constant information that does not feed our purpose. Because the invisible attributes, particularly your subconscious, it doesn't play favorites. It only hears the information. So if I said just moments ago, a few hours ago, something that I'm like, where'd that come from? Because I couldn't find my phone. And I said, I'm always misplacing my phone. And I almost looked at myself from outside of myself. I don't say stuff like that. I try to be disciplined to recognize that if you keep saying that, or in my case, start saying that, you're introducing, where's my phone? You're introducing the behavior. That means I'm not a good steward if I'm not a good steward over my words. So I went and I said, I take those words captive and I send them away. And I replace those words with new words. I know exactly where my phone is. And just made sure my subconscious didn't get used to bad habits, because I don't want to be a bad steward. I want to be a better steward. I really want to be an expert. In the end, to hear a well done and look back, as it were, and know that I left a blazing trail of blessings for everybody to follow that is assigned to my design, my direction, and my development. So if I'm doing that, most definitely the mouth and the mind have to get connected. Your mind can't be woe is me. How does it get woe is me? By the things we hear, by the things we see. You keep seeing it, you keep hearing it, sooner or later, you start saying it. So hearing, seeing, and saying put you on the course to be the kind of steward that you're either pleased with or displeased with. What kind of a steward are you? I mean, we're talking about be a steward of your purpose. Your purpose is not designed to relegate you to an average life. It's not even possible when your daddy made the world that that's what he wanted. You can't tell me that. I didn't say what it meant for you personally, but you cannot tell me that if your daddy made the world that you are somehow average. There's no way. There is no way possible. But you know how people come out average or live an average life? And I'm not talking about notoriety over here, over there, using the false scales of what makes sense or what's important based upon the world, because they're not the scale. The scale is, why are you here? What are you supposed to be doing? And how can you improve? That's the balance of the scales. And that's where your stewardship is being evaluated, not at whether you made the New York Times bestsellers list, or, I mean, all those things are wonderful. But at the end, whatever you are designed for, you have to be a steward of your purpose. Okay, so here's another question for you. Because if you didn't come up with, a couple $100 of investment in you, and I'm not talking about this me time stuff, I'm talking about the purpose that you are here for. What are you here for? What are you supposed to be doing? And how can you improve? Improvement is a part of the process. And sometimes you have to pay a coach, a person for that. And I'm not, this is not a shameless plug to be your purpose development coach. I promise you, I got enough going on right now. I'm almost not taking any more clients for what it's worth. This is not for me. This is for you to find out, because some of you play piano. You don't need me for that, because I can't teach you. I can tell you what it sounds like, but I can't teach you that. But if your purpose is inside of a cage, because every year you talk about what you don't walk out, because you have not yet developed the interest in being a good steward over what you do, you need to get with a person that can help ignite that part of inside of you, only to wake you up so that you can know some patterns. But you don't need crutches. You just need to make a decision. You made a decision when you don't invest in you. My encouragement for your purpose for this year, make an investment. Listen to something. Buy a book. It doesn't have to be a lot. Today, with all this stuff on TV, I mean, you could almost go anywhere and learn whatever it is that fits your design for free. You're already paying for it. Okay. So where is the investment in you? I hope you invest in you this year. I really do. Let's go to number 4. Who are the mentors that you call on or learn from? Who are they? Now listen, please get this. Some of the mentors are online. They're on CDs. They're on MP4s. They are in cassette series. Okay, you may not know them, but you know their material. And because you know their material, if you keep allowing the information to come inside of you via the ear gate, then you are being a good steward over your purpose if the information advances the cause of what your soul was made for. I hope that makes sense to you. The soul is not made for anything other than to bring back to its maker a return on his love investment. So the purpose is not to be defiant. It's not to be errant. It is to maximize the luster of his brilliance, because you were fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what I said to begin with. You are made by the one that owns you. Now we have to give our ownership to him. That's a whole nother subject, but you got to willingly say, I want you to be the Lord of my life. And now I will steward these invisible attributes that you have given me. And I'll do that by investing. And then I'll do that by listening to mentors. You can help advance where you're trying to go a lot faster if you can talk to some people who have already been there. How are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of being a steward over your purpose? That's just for you to answer, not for you to, you don't have to write that one down. Now listen, I'm going to run some laps around the teaching. All right. So let's just say I'm your mentor for today, for tonight. In this context, the question would be, when this is over, this broadcast is over, how many laps do you think you're going to run around this message, whether that be rewinding it, whether it be the point that really got your attention, and you run laps around it. Laps is the process of asking yourself, what did I learn? As you hear what did you learn? What did you learn? What did you like about that? Some people hate silence. Some people don't like quiet. They want noise because it distracts from what they're hearing. The way that you run laps around the learning that fits your stewardship requirements is that you ask yourself questions. What I heard, did I like it? Not approval. Did I take delight in the word's capacity to strengthen my resolve and my purpose? If you liked it, great. That's fantastic. Now, what did you learn from that? I learned that I need to. Okay, great. How can you apply what you just said you need to fill in the blanks? How can you apply that? Because again, if we're going to be a better steward or be a steward over our purpose, we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional. And then after that is the P. What can you pray about? Could you Lord, help me get that done? Help me fulfill what I have intentions for. Not just talk about, but help me fulfill what I plan to apply. And then the final one is the S, LAPS, is the statement. The statement is, I'm going to write down, tomorrow I will, or I am a man or a woman of whatever that ability is that you desire to do. When you do that routinely, then you're not just a consumer of good news. Because if you're just a consumer, it goes and is eliminated and off to the next thing to eat. But when you digest it and you let the food, mental food, spiritual food, really move throughout your body and your cells, you begin to change. Because our question here is, how do you become a good steward over these invisible attributes of your purpose? Because the clock is ticking. It's moving so fast. What is this? 13th, 15th? What is this? 6/12, 6/12, 13, 13. You realize next week, 7 days from now, the world will change? In America in particular, it's going to be something else between now and 7 days from now. It's going to be on fire, going higher, and blessed to be a blessing. Now, some of the fires that will be set won't be all that happy, all that good. But I'm telling you now, if you're not in your purpose and all you are is a spectator, please wake up before then. Because the unwary are looking for you, because there's something in you, invisible attribute, that they need. And whatever has already been deposited is probably enough for a group of people who are not used to even being on a broadcast, listening for ways to get stronger, for ways to improve. 7 days from now, the world's going to be different. All right, let's keep going. Running laps helps you to compress decades into days. Running laps, making a habit of looking through the lens of purpose, asking yourself, what did I like? What did I learn? How can I apply that? How can I pray? I'm going to pray over this situation. What's my statement? All of that should match why I'm here, what I'm supposed to be doing, and ways that I can improve. You put that together every single day, you will compress decades into days. Let's move to the next one. Running laps ensures you stop repeating the habits developed in the last decade. I'll say that again. Running laps ensures you stop repeating the habits from the last 10 years. The last decade, if you run laps, if you just run laps, if you run laps and ask questions, you walk laps. You don't have to run them, walk them, skip, hopscotch, jump rope, but go around the content again. Go around the content of are you a good steward? Or be a better steward? Or be a steward, period. Be a steward of your own purpose. You put that together, You'll compress time frames, decades into days, and you will stop repeating the habits of the last decade. And then the final thing here is that running laps helps us discover that perfection is not needed for progress. Running laps will help you understand that perfection is not needed in order for progress to occur. The fact that some people just start exercising, they're not perfect in it. You may not have finished all the reps, but the fact that your mind, your will, your memory, your imagination, and your emotions got you off of the couch, got you off of the bad habit from the last 10 years, will compress 10 years or a decade of progress in a matter of days without you having to be perfect. It's a very simple concept. It's very easy to do, very easy to get done if you steward your purpose. And then the real last thing, I know I said the last thing, but here's the real last thing. Purpose puts you in position to change your condition. That ought to be the lyric. Purpose puts you in position to change your condition. You want your condition to change? Stop looking out there. Start looking in here. And start asking yourself while you're running laps, what am I here for? I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this. Then what are you here for? The opposite of this. Okay, great. Let's start there. Then what are you supposed to do? Something that supports this. Correct. It's got to start in your thinking. And then how can you improve? I don't know. I need to get around some people who think like this. Correct. My brother, my sister, you do that long enough and you start running laps around. Bro, I learned that. I'm going to stop hanging out over here. I'm going to start hanging out over here. You know what? I'm going to apply that tomorrow. Tomorrow, I am not going to go to lunch with, fill in the blanks, not concerned about the person. The concept is the idea of repeating things you know don't work and start applying things you know do. You put that over here and you pray, Lord, help me, because you know they love to get together and I love to get together, used to, and I don't need to anymore. Help me be over here. And then make a statement. I am not going to fail. No, I better erase that. I am going to succeed. See, I told you perfection is not necessary for progress. You just need to start moving. I am so thankful and grateful now that my actions benefit my design potential. I am so grateful and thankful that I don't waste time. I spend time that helps outlast time. Boom. I'm so grateful that the time I have is being maximized because I hear the clock and I feel my heartbeat. Let my heartbeats count. Period. Now, you do something like that every day, you will be a great steward of your purpose. So, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you. May he be gracious to you. May he lift up the light of his countenance upon you. May he be gracious to you and give you his shalom. Yeah, I hope this helped you. Being a steward of your purposes, well within your grasp. You can do it. You can. I know you can. And also know you can like, save, and share this with some people who may be kind of stuck. They're stuck talking about what they should be walking out. They're stuck trying to be perfect over things that they just need to start positioning themselves for. It's just not necessary. Perfection is not necessary for the condition to change. Purpose puts you in position to change your condition. In the meantime, if you'd like to be a blessing to this ministry, you can. You can go to kdchurch.org and click on the Give tab. And this 501c3 that is on fire, going higher, and blessed to be a blessing is a great place for you to sow. If we're your church home, of course, your tithe belongs to you. May the Lord bless you because you do. If it is becoming your church home, then you can tithe there. And we praise God that you are doing so. If you like to give an offering or offerings, again, same place, kdchurch.org. You can give, and it will bless you because it's really true that when you pay for something, you tend to retain it. And there's a power in that connection. So we hope that you will bless in that regard and be blessed because of it. In addition to that, if you want to know what we're up to so that we can continue to train you, we consider ourselves an outreach from heaven, assigned to the earth. Our goal and our mission and our strategy is to help see you with a better or a stronger life with God. Our goal is to help strengthen the people who already know Jesus, the saved, and love on the folks who are getting to know Jesus, the lost, so that connecting those dots, we can help you live a greater life in God. Because there's some love-led encounters that are waiting for you. They might be misinterpreted if you don't have some family. And we'd love to be your online family that gets together as we do. And you see all those moments at kdchurch.org where you can see all the details of the events. And you'll enjoy it because we're here to do a bunch, especially starting next Tuesday and thereafter for probably 8 months. Between now and maybe November, December, we're going to be dealing with one race, one blood, really making the foundations of the faith clear. One race, one blood on Tuesday nights. We're doing everything from, my goodness, oh my goodness, we're talking about the DNA code, how it traces back. We're looking at that there's literally one shade of color, not people of color and people not of color. I get the phrasing, but in terms of just fundamentals of the faith, there's one color. And as a result of that, we are related. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. We're going to cover that in ways that the dinosaurs are included in this training, the pachyderm, all kinds of animals, the kinds of groups as they are created, going back to the flood. This is one of the most powerful times we're going to have on Tuesday nights. Now, we're still going to be here on Purpose Points on Wednesday because this is powerful too, because now that you know you're one race, it'll shape the way you understand why you're here, what you're supposed to do, and how can you improve. And we just put all this together. It's all on the website. Just go check it out at kdchurch.org, and you can find those details. I think that should be it. Please remember to like, share, save, and subscribe. The women also start on this coming up Saturday, so that's going to be fantastic on breaking free. And it's interesting that the word is to break free because it's really from a mindset, because Jesus already set us free. So if he set us free, we're free for real, but we got to keep pressing. That's where the breaking comes in. So that's going to be awesome on this coming up Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. And you'll see all of that on the website. Just go to the website, kdchurch.org, click on that on that tab, and you'll find the events that's there. Now, final piece, if you don't know Jesus, this is not hard. It's very simple. He made it simple. Confess with your mouth, Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, and you'll be saved. It's that simple. Then you need a family to help disciple you, to help you grow, because you are a new creature with new features. 2 Corinthians 5:17 and following. Ambassadors for Christ, righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. So that's you. So if you'd like for us to help you with the new you, then text the word welcome. Actually, text the word life to 770-308-8864. 770-308-8864. Text the word life, and we'll get in touch with you, start communicating, and it's going to be awesome. If you need an online time family together that we can help train and sharpen each other, we'll do that. And you can text the word welcome to the same number, 770-308-8864, and we will be glad to get in touch with you. And those are the numbers right there. Thank you, Shailene. There they are. So unless there's something else, is this on YouTube too? No, it's not, Jasmine. It's going to be on, we're going to try to, no, we can't show it on YouTube because it's proprietary information that so we can't put his information, like there's no share screen feature inside of YouTube, but in a closed setting, we can do that on Zoom. So yeah, it'll be on Zoom. But again, we're going to keep going you're going to be fascinated by the dinosaurs. That word was made up in the 1500s. The biblical word for behemoth or dinosaurs is animals by description. The tail the size of a tree, a pine tree, not a bush. That tells you that they were looking at, this is in Job's day, animals that were huge walking around. And even though they had just fallen because of what occurred with Adam's sin, you had meat eaters and plant eaters, but they were all plant eaters to begin with, according to the book of Genesis. It's right there. Even the lions, everything was given herbs and plants to begin with. And then sin came, then meat eaters and violence, and then schisms, and here we are. So you'll get some origins, and it's going to just be so awesome. So invite people, and look, when we're on, invite people. Tell your friend, look, I think you need to come listen to this handsome bald headed pastor. That's what I said in Harrisburg. A handsome bald headed pastor. One day I might grow hair. Then what are you going to say? Anyway, I hope you have a great evening. Can't wait to see you the next time we get together. God bless you. Bye.